Zan, you said before to me and to all of us that one of the biggest lessons people are missing today, for men, is this idea and spirit of masculine edge. And there's a quote in here to kick it off that I like. It says, "Modern man is afraid of his masculine beauty. He is devoid of passion, of purpose. He has no edge. He is tepid. He is soft. This is why when a woman encounters a man of balanced and joyful masculinity, the natural order is restored and she can relax and become a girl again."
Yeah, I think that subject, that reclamation of our sexual nature as men, and the beauty of it, is the biggest subject. I really do think that it is informing all of the work that we've been doing, and the reason that we're sitting here, and the reason I write a book like this. Because as it touches on in that passage, it's aligned with our sexual nature, aligned with our passion, which we very rarely have. All of these great things. So I think it is when in all my years of doing coaching for men and seminars and stuff, I think it is the number one thing that men are missing in Western society. By Western, I mean UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, Scandinavia. It's all the same thing where we're so afraid to. It's been not criminalized, but it's been shamed. Our masculine spirit, that to be a man is it's a dangerous thing that's ready to, in modern society, it feels like there's a lot of thought that given no restraints, a man would rape. Given no societal restraints, it's ridiculous. It's a destructive way of thinking.
It's like masculinity is confused with misogyny.
Yes, and in our own psyche too, we're raised and taught better hide that. Better hide that. And and we're fundamentally missing something. Like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Our masculine sexual nature is our birthright. It's a divine nature. It's given to us from God, and we, like I said yesterday, we squander the gifts we've been given. We hide our light under a bushel, and it's wrong. It's a sin.
Yeah, I noticed I did this yesterday, actually, as an example, and a woman was looking over her shoulder at me, and I was talking to one of our good friends, and I hid my light under. I was delighted that she was looking at me, and I'm looking back, But I hid that because of
caution.
It's
want to make sure
it's a pleasantry. While I'm talking to my friend, however many thoughts I've got running through my head, instead of saying, "Hold on a second, buddy," and going and saying, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, we're. I mean, I said it there. We're tepid. Our generation, and I speak about myself. This is a strong message to myself that I had to fight for, to try and been fighting for all these years to try and understand. And like as I said before, it's been women have been telling me this. Where is the sexual edge of men? Where is the masculine mystique? How come we don't feel? How come we don't feel that thrust in anything the men do? We don't have that spirit of thrust, which is our nature, and we hide it. We hide it completely.
I think you're right. It's a kind of the sexual thrusting nature. For me, it's almost like the lower energy is like a fighter energy. It's that protection. We don't fight wars anymore.
Yeah.
I remember even when I started kind of doing boxing, martial arts, playing American football, my mum was like, "Will you be okay, safer? This is dangerous. Why you want to do these things?" But you have that attitude that the women need in a man, because we're taking it back many years ago, but there were situations when we were there and like a predator would come in, like another man or like an animal. She doesn't want kind of a weak man that's there like, "Oh, take her first." She needs a man that's going to stand up and defend.
Yeah.
And there's this spirit that seems missing in men as well.
Yeah, and it's a balanced energy. I mean, I wrote it in here, but I'll say it again, because it is the essence of what we talked about in earlier episodes about the difference between the sensitive nice guy and the jerk. Where's that middle line? Where's that balance? Where's the great qualities of both brought forward? And to make a whole man, to make somebody that is not tepid, not obsequious, not following her around, and is carving his own way, but in still great delight is sharing and wanting her to be full equal partner, as opposed to like cast down or put aside or any of this kind of stuff. And it's the balance thereof. We have, I'll say it quickly, like we have an energy here, starting from our heart, our base. And we have an energy that flows up into the world, and we know that. We can feel it in our interactions with women, in our interactions with each other. We've been sitting around this table, and over the course of this filming, we've been like a light, bright energy that's like this, and sometimes it's been quiet and vibrating down here. And the whole spirit is that we have an energy that moves up and outward into the world. And this is us being charming, being inviting, being humorous, being attentive, being our empathy, our charm, our, can I get your coat for you? And would you like some more wine, Jordan? Can I do that for you? And that great upper energy, which is a beautiful masculine energy. And we concentrate on that. All of our instruction out there is how to be a better storyteller, how to be more funny. We take Toastmasters, we try improv, to be more of a conversationalist, so we can entertain, so we can be this upper energy. And everything about that is a higher energy, including eye contact. Our posture is inviting and up.
So all the lessons from parents, grandparents, books, TV, what is right in society concentrates on that as well. These are the social graces that you talk about.
The social graces, which are necessary, because a lot of people are hiding that, and they're not blurting, they're not saying the truth, they're just kind of like not doing even that. So there's guys saying, I don't know how to have a conversation with a girl, so I need to learn how to go, and they take lessons, for instance, right? And those are good. And all the dating advice out there is the same thing. I say all. I make blanket statements, but that's what I do. So all the dating advice out there is in the same thing: how to do this, and how to not have any dead air when you're talking to a girl. How to make sure you talk to these two girls and not and keep it going. How to keep it going, keep going. So and that's a great upper energy, but it's all we concentrate on. Because from the same center of gravity here, the same heart center, man has an equal energy that's a balancing energy to the upper energy, which is a lower energy that goes down and out into the world. It kind of it's a darker energy, and it's kind of like a heavy bass, boom, 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 that flows through the air. It floats around our feet, and you can feel it as a vibration. This is a great upper energy. It's a charming, inviting energy. This is our mystique. This lower energy that goes down and out into the world. It's a mystique. It's our dark forest. It's our danger. It's our ability to destroy, ability to defend.
Yes.
Ability to step up and to know we have it, what it takes. It's our desire to bend the world over. It's our thrusting nature. It's our desire to see a woman say, I like you with all this beautiful respect and empathy and charm, and I have this energy too. I can't do it at the table here, but I have the same energy of, I will not only be this nice guy, but I'm in full respect because I have balance. I have thrust too. And I have a great desire to bend you over. This is my desire.
So I would say this is the erotic energy.
Yes.
And when you talk about the question, have I ever been a woman's fantasy? If not, why not? Then it's because you've had all of this.
Yes.
But it's the erotic energy that has her dream about you.
Yes.
In that way.
And in the West, we're taught to suppress that balancing lower energy, which, I imagine like a tree. A tree's got this beautiful foliage with birds and butterflies and perfumed flowers. That's an inviting thing. We want this tree. But there's also roots that go deep. Roots that are grounded to our forefathers. Roots that are grounded to our call to action, to our leadership call to planting both feet on the earth and not apologizing. It's a non-apologetic, strong warrior type energy.
Yeah.
And we don't have it in our modern age.
I'm reminded of a quote, I don't know exactly, he was a general for America during the Second World War. I think his name was George Patton. And he gave a great speech about why we're here. And I think he said, I'm paraphrasing, we're here for 3 reasons. 1, because of your self-respect, you would not want to be anywhere else. Secondly, to defend our homes and our values. And thirdly, because we're real men, and real men like to fight. It's kind of that attitude of, there's a section thing, it's a fighter, it's that lower energy of that fierce, that darker energy that is important to men.
Yeah. And the bad guy, the jerk, has that kind of that fight in him, but it's unrestrained. There's no control. Like I wrote in the book here, it's like we have the stallion energy that's ready to thrust and charge, but it's restrained. You see, but it's simmering there, and women don't feel that. They feel this generation, nice, sensitive, great conversationalists, funny guys. But they go on dates with us, and we're great daters. We know how to be on a date. Hey, so tell me more, and let me tell you something about me. We practice our dating skills, and even in bed we're nice guys. We practice our massage skills. I'll massage you for hours, and make sure that I'm taking care of you. Right? Women say, I want that. No, but they don't.
So this comes back to the second part of the quote. Remember the beginning of the book we talked about the way of beauty and the kind of the most important thing a man needs is a lover woman. We mentioned how you have a love woman that overcomes your fear and your selfishness. But I thought, and now I know wrongly, you think the love woman is all about the higher energy, the beauty, the poetry style. Whereas no, as you really love women, you're going to bring that lower energy as well, because that's what she needs. And you said here, when a woman encounters a man of balance and joyful masculinity, the natural order is restored. And here's to keep it, and she can relax and become a girl again.
Exactly. Like women are so strong today because women are so strong today, and the men are not. And women are strong today because the men are not.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. So they're holding up both sides of the equation. They're trying to be the feminine, but they also have to lead the men, because the men are like, what would you like to do? And I'm not sure. Would you like to hang out sometime? How many girls said to me, I thought it was a date, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a date. I'm not sure, right? Because the men are afraid to own it. They're afraid to say, yeah, I would like to see you, and I desire you. There's something about you I'd like to get to know. I would like to see you again. They're afraid to own their desires. They apologize for their desires. And because they're only concentrating on this upper energy, they're top heavy. So we say to a girl, hey, it was nice to talk to you. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can get together and have a coffee sometime. And she says, oh, that's sweet of you, but I have a boyfriend. And because we're top heavy, we have no roots, we go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't know you had a boyfriend. We apologize because that girl has a boyfriend. We flinch. Modern man is flinching in the land of women. It's like, no, I didn't mean to cause offense. And it's ridiculous.
I was on a date with a girl a few days ago, and I asked her a question. Would you like to go for a walk? But it's not leading as such, still asking her.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like you're not going to say, hey, listen, would you like to go for a walk? Would you like to do that? There's no lack of leadership in that kind of phrase. It doesn't mean you have to say, listen, we're doing what I want to do, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Follow. That's not that. There's no there's no sharing element of that. Right? There's no control or domination or anything I'm saying at all.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing in this book is control or domination. No. And yet it's very strong leadership. Don't cross his line. Even our sentences have, modern man's sentences are interrogative. Everything goes up at the end.
Yeah.
It's like a question. Even our statements go up at the end. So I would like to get together with you. It's like we're asking these. Our whole nature is then asking, please like me, please. Instead of statements that land, boom, boom, boom. This is just what here's my worldview. I'll describe it to you. You and I are going to get together on Thursday night. That's a beautiful sentiment. That's a beautiful thought for me, and that's the way I would like the world arranged. You can have a different opinion about that. That's okay too. Room to roll out. So, but all of our stuff is in interrogation. We don't put our stake in the ground. And this is my fundamental lesson to myself, because I'm a highly sexual nature. I adore women. I think I believe in the essence of women. I really do, and in a polarity way. But I've been hiding it my whole life. And women say, "Where's that guy? Where's that guy? How come we don't feel that from you?"
I put in my, just a quick one, I put in my notes before when you talked about this concept in the context of invitation. What most men do, it's like they're putting a sentence and they have a question mark at the end of it. That's the nice guy energy.
Yeah.
And the jerk energy is so strong and kind of domineering, it's like an exclamation mark. But what you do, it's a full stop, or even it's an ellipsis. I would like to go to coffee with you, ... giving her space to reply.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's all, like our whole, and I speak for myself, our generation is kind of beige.
Yeah.
There's no color, and women date us because there's nothing else. Right? They might marry you because there's nothing else.
Yeah.
But they're missing some kind of element of that dangerous, restrained thrust of men, and they're starved for it. Women are the ones that told me this.
So can you say a little bit more about first of all, what a more bottom-heavy guy would look like?
Yeah.
Well, a bottom-heavy guy is the guy who comes across as too aggressive, too invasive, too creepy, because he doesn't have the balance. And because we don't want to be that, we hide it. We completely block our lower energy, because I don't want to come across, because we don't. I don't want to look like a creep or like a lech, or somebody who's trying to stare at a woman and right. So we hide it in caution.
Man's worst fear in this post-feminist age, to actually be labelled all the things that we've been trying to avoid.
Yes.
That we've been named for all these years. If you are a creep or a douchebag, or if you are a jerk.
Yeah, we don't want that, because we're not.
Yeah.
Right? And so to err on the side of caution, we completely excise that sexual nature from our spirit. We are asexual until 3 dates later, and she's we're so asexual, and then in 3 days later she's coming over to your place to watch a movie, and now you have to turn on the sexual charm. Now you have to be this, get into your body. You can't do it. You can't do it. So women are like, they don't feel anything. And and I'll say this, maybe this is related to this. A lot of because the sexual nature is such a strong topic, and it can be taken out of context. And guys can say, "Hey, I need to be more sexual. I need to be more macho," right? If they only hear that portion of it. All of the instruction over the years, and even this book, starts out with the concept of empathy, beauty, charm, respect. Then it drifts to now that we've laid that groundwork of this upper energy so important.
Yes.
In the context of that upper energy, now let's explore what it means to have a dark force and a danger and a mystique and a danger in us, right? But what happens a lot, because of the way that we have constructed this preface, guys start to read the book, or they go through the preface of some of our programs and say, "Wow, this is all like, there's nothing in there for me. It's all like, it's about beauty and philosophy and etc." And they check out early. And they don't get the whole balance of what we're trying to say. What I'm trying to say here, for instance. There's guys that wrote to me and said, "Listen, I read the first 50 pages of the book. That's not practical for me. What can I do with that? It's a bunch of philosophy." Keep going. Keep going, and you see how that balances and brings in this, interesting.
I'm thinking one of the popular TV series at the moment of Game of Thrones, and that is very much about this lower energy, too much of it. But the fact it's so popular shows that people are intrigued by it, and there's something missing in society today.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, gentlemen, it is not, no men have taught me this. I think that men's instruction is either concentrating on this, which is dating advice, how to be a great conversationalist of it, or it's it's kind of a battle mentality, which is like, come on, let's get back out there and get our sexual energy back. We're being too sensitive, so let's toss aside all this respect and charm and humor stuff and just be aggressive cavemen again.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah.
But the balance is an incredible thing, and it is the holy grail, the balance of the two in men. When women encounter men like that, it appeals to the two sides of the woman's psyche, which is the Madonna whore.
Yes.
You see, it's balance here, balance on her side, polarity coming together.
It's also, Hans talks about this a lot, about the friend and the lover. The upper energy is the kind of the friendship energy, and the lover is a lower energy.
Exactly. And we're one or the other.
Throughout my journey, I've come from being mostly lower energy to the higher energy, unlike most people, I guess.
The reverse. The reverse, yeah.
So, in my experience, getting into your body was one of the things you've always taught me.
Yeah.
And one of the most difficult things for me to do. Of getting there day by day. Purely by choosing to stay on the journey and keep at it.
Yeah.
And I've found a few ways to get in my body. I suppose awareness is curative. I'm aware now when I'm in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, time to get back in the body. You can do that through a number of ways. One of the best ways I've found is actually just kind of dancing. Even if there's no music, I just play a tune in my head and start dancing. And I go straight back into my body.
Yeah.
When I'm in my body, I think the balance is much greater.
Yeah.
The balance is much more of an equilibrium. I've also chosen to see through rose-tinted glasses more in the last few years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd put the personal experience in there, but that's
Owen, you know, like with you, it's like, because you're of the earth. You're the kind of guy that's like of the earth, like, and you grew up in Australia, and you've been around us for years. Yeah. You've got charm. You've got all these refined qualities.
Yeah.
You know, and you're devoted to your journey of understanding how can I balance that so I don't come across as too aggressive, because you're not aggressive. Your heart is dead on sincere.
Yes.
Want to be kind and respectful and charming to women, and you are that. And it's just a matter of, like, for you and for all of us, it's just a matter of, like, reclaiming the balance and like exploring both, and not one to the exclusion of the other. My side and the Canadian side, we're so top heavy. We're so respectful.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old saying: we're so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good. You know, we're so right. We're so up here, and we don't want to offend anybody. And so there's no traction. There's no edge. Like, untuck your shirt or something. You know. And
so the balance
so
is
you
an
come,
exploration, right?
But and you can come from either way. You can either come from, like, my Canadian angle, which is like full on, like, conservative, clean, you know, don't make any waves. Or you can come from, like, in South Africa. The men I met in South Africa, they have a gravity to their you know, and they have a kind of like a relationship with the earth that we don't have in a lot of places, and it's a very masculine, strong energy. But then you explore the upper side of things, so you get the balance, because it's a perfect thing, and everybody can do it.
You're talking a lot about Canada and Great Britain, where you're saying the men are very charming but don't have any underneath it.
Yeah.
Like, I see much more complexity than just that.
Yeah, of course.
So last night we were having chicken and beer in our favourite place just down the road, and there was a group of English guys on a stag party.
Yeah.
And it was scary.
Again.
Scary. Yeah. And it's like after a couple of drinks, it's like this part of their energy, if that is there with them, has gone, and the behavior is just like violent and shouting.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of girls in the street that give out flyers for the strip club and so on, and every time one of those girls would walk past, the guys are screaming football songs and shouting, pointing in the air, and I felt scared for the women that were coming down the street beside all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, where does that, feels like there's a lot of this, feels like there's more of that lower energy, which is more the bad boy behavior, but even then, I feel that with these kind of men, it's not really that. It's like not.
No, they get drunk and then that spills out.
So so it's like the repressed fighter, the repressed sexual energy, the repressed power comes out in a drunken way.
And you see it more and more in like the really repressed countries, and like if you go to Scandinavia, and it's very repressed there, and it's very hidden energy, and as soon as they get drunk, it's like it's an aggression comes out.
Yeah.
And the women too.
There's
the whole hookup. I met a Swedish girl a few years ago, and she would say, "Oh, in Sweden we have this notion of the 10 to 2, which is no men and women are really speaking to each other in the early part of the night, but if you're alone at 10 to 2, you might get an invitation to go home without any of this beautiful sub-communication or charm or sharing energy with our friends. It's direct like that."
And and I had a Colombian girlfriend that lived in Vancouver, and she lived there for 8 years. And when I was seeing her, she said, I lived here for 8 years in Vancouver. And I go out with my little short skirt and my girlfriends, and I'm lonely. And the guys stand around with the beers, and they would look like this, and nothing. And I'm not sure, am I supposed to approach them, or should I initiate?
Yeah.
So then I go down to South America, and it's the opposite. The guys are, "You're my girl," and they grab, and she said, "How come there's nothing in between?"
Yeah.
So cultures do like make a difference, but in our upbringings, etc. And I can't speak for instance, China. I don't know, or Kazakhstan. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can speak about my culture, your culture, that I've seen and floated around in.
So my Argentine friend grew up in a country full of seduction and social graces, and things are drawn out, and women make it tough for men there. They really have to fight through those walls, as we were talking about on the first day. And he went to live in Norway. Yeah, he spent some time in Sweden, then went to Norway thinking everyone's going to be a blonde princess and they're more open than the women are in Argentina. And he went there and he said, "You know what, I went out clubbing every single day, to the student parties, the normal parties, every single day. And in my first 2 weeks, I must have taken home like 12 girls in the first 14 days. And at first I thought it was amazing because I never had such success in all my life. But then I'd notice I'd get up the next day and she would kick me out and have to go to work. And when I'd seen one of the women that I slept with in the street, she'd walk past and may nod her head or may just completely ignore me. And he felt so sad that after he had what he thought he wanted with the women, that there was so little romance and intimacy there, and he didn't know what to do about it, that he was like, "Oh, I miss Argentina. I miss the strife and the whole dance of it all."
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's the plight of our common age, guys.